this guy would never work as a dictator because he's simply not a man of the people. He's actually a moron, and people that see him will go, oh my God, this guy again. Let's take a look at this video and have a little bit of a laugh at this idiot, although it's a pretty serious topic.
Emergency phase of the COVID-19 pandemic is now over. Investments in digital infrastructure remain an important resource for health systems and for economies and societies at large. Like many countries, the European Union made significant investments in COVID-19 certificates to help people move around as safely as possible during the pandemic.
Translation is, we had certificates to keep you within the cage that we created, even though you couldn't see the walls of it. Sorry, hang on, I'm just interrupting there, hang on.
The European Union's certification system was used by all 27 EU member states and more than 50 other countries. Building on the success of the EU system.
Did that exist before COVID and all of that craziness? Did those,
well, yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, did those systems exist? Because I thought all we had to do when we crossed the border was show our passport. Was there something else you have to do now?
That's the whole idea behind the EU, right? You don't have to show passports anymore from country to country. There's also also shared, rights, which was a recipe for disaster, which is a whole podcast all by itself. That topic in the EU. But the United Nations is just an organization of corrupt countries that cannot survive on their own, so they need to feed off the teat of the successful countries. And while they're taking from these successful countries, they're bashing them at the same time. So it's a useless organization. It's an evil organization. And the day that this organization is nixed, I will celebrate. Of course, that'll never happen because there's too much special interests involved in the United Nations. It's a corrupt organization. And these people at the UN, they all want to be invited to the right parties. They all want to be in the club. And to be in the club, you just have to do a few things. So that's what this is all about. They all want to be in the club.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we keep moving on and I click again, I'll just quickly, as you're saying that, just being a reminder of who the donators are to the World Health Organization. So the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation alone is responsible for over 88% of the total amount donated by philanthropic foundations to the WHO. Other contributions include the Bloomberg Family Foundation, the Wellcome Trust, and the Rockefeller Foundation. So Bill Gates responsible for 88% of it. Man, oh man. All right, let's have a listen to what Mr. Tedros has to say here. Doctor of what? Dr. Evil himself, maybe. Maybe that's his nickname.
WHO is proud today to launch the Global Digital Health Certification Network. So thank you so much to European Union for the excellent certification system that you have transferred to us, and we have the chance to build on it. WHO will begin operations of the network today with the existing COVID-19 certificate as a global public good. Soon after, we will expand this infrastructure by incorporating other use, such as a digitized international certificate of vaccination, routine immunization cards, and international patient summaries.
So he said, just back that up and listen to what he says again very carefully there in case you missed it at the very end of the video there.
Infrastructure by incorporating other use, such as a digitized international certificate of vaccination, routine immunization cards, and international patient summaries.
Okay.
Man, oh man, what do you think when you hear about routine vaccinations? What are you hearing?
Routine. Forget the fact that we had you poke your arm full of stuff that before it was FDA approved, before the experiments were done, before forget all that. It was
forget about COVID altogether. What do they want me to have? That's a routine.
Hey! You got that sensor button all warmed up there, man? You got
Yeah.
you got that beeper ready to go? Because look, I'm going to watch my words carefully, because we have to be careful about certain things that we say that we're not allowed to say, which really grinds my gears all by itself. But we do want to stay on air, so if I use euphemisms, that's why, people. So bear with me here. But this worldwide flu that we had for the past few years, all of the draconian plans that were put in place, none of it was about public health. None of it. It was about control, and these governments, they see it as a beautiful opportunity for a power grab. These international organizations moving toward I got to be careful with this one too, with a one group, global organization. These are really good opportunities to get people to comply to their little programs that will give them more and more power. At some point, now I will confess to you that Rob knows this, we talked about it off air. I spent about 5 hours putting together my presentation on the day today, and Rob told me I couldn't use it because
you went all the way down the rabbit hole.
I went all the way
down there. What was at the bottom of the rabbit hole?
Well, it wasn't
Tedros's hairy ass.
It wasn't. It wasn't a message of hope. It was a message of resistance to what's going on. But this whole idea of digital IDs, we can't say that. That's a pretty safe term. Digital IDs, medical passports, anything that requires a permission by some nameless government official in order to live your life. And I was making a point in that video that if I want to go visit Rob in Cronulla, I better do it pretty quickly, unless I want to get some poison shoved into my arm, because they might not allow me unless I can prove that I've done it. So our lives are under control. Everything, look, across the board, right? We have digital IDs. That there's a big push for that across the board. We have the CBDCs coming. Everything is about they want to track every aspect of your life, and they want to control every aspect of your life. In Stasi or Nazi Germany fashion, they're going to be walking in every time you want to do something. They say, "Where are your papers? Where are your papers?" Of course, your papers have to be on your phone, right? Probably. Where's your phone? Where's your phone? Let me see your phone. And if you don't show them the phone, you're not going to be able to buy that chewing gum or whatever it is you want to get. This is the world we're heading toward. And what's really discouraging with that, during that 2.5, 3 year period there, people did comply. That's the frightening part of this. So many people, they wanted to go out and see their friends, so they got that poison in their body, so that they can go out to bars again. They can go to a baseball game again. And if you did not get that poison in your arm, you were excluded and you were shamed. How many celebrities do we come out saying that they cut ties with their friends and their social media if they didn't get the poison in their arm? We had late night commentaries, shaming people who did not want to get that poison in their arms. We had the president of the United States shaming people who disagreed with them. So there was a global effort. So tyranny is an actual real world thing. It's not a quaint term to describe the past. We have tyranny going on right now. And anybody who's tried to live a life of true freedom, we're having a harder time doing it. And the only solution is to push back. We all have to remember that these politicians, these powers to be, they work for us. We actually do have all the power, but too many people right now believe the things that they're talking about. As Rob and I are fond of reminding people that if ever you want to wonder whether a politician is telling you a lie, just look to see whether his lips are moving, and then Don't trust these people. Don't believe anything they say about any subject, because they all have agendas. Okay, I better cut it off there, man, because boy, I'll just go on.
Hey, go and
you got my blood going.
Go back out at the saloon and go and tie your horse up over there. Yeah, get off that high horse for me. No, you got to get it off your chest, you know. And so earlier in the week, I was watching Senator Alex Antic again here in Australia. He was questioning the boss of the health department there, who happened to be over in wherever they were signing the pandemic treaty. And he's like, "Why is Australia signing the pandemic treaty? What powers does it give them?" And the health bureaucrat, idiot liar, who told everyone that the poison that you were going to put in your body was safe, even though there was no verification to say that it was safe. They just trusted that they didn't verify it. That's